Hello everybody. Today I'm going to discuss the blues progression, which is a particular order in which chords are played. This does not necessarily have to pertain to the blues as a style, but it can. This chord progression has evolved from the blues, but over the years it has made its way into rock and roll, funk, jazz, Latin. So this progression has kind of taken many different forms over the years. And what I'll do is I'm going to start with one of its most basic forms, and then from there you'll be able to hear it in different styles of music, and then deal with the hundreds and hundreds of variations of this progression. And for our example today, I'm going to play in the key of C. And if you watch some of my previous videos, there's videos on how to letter the names of the frets on the bass, and then there's also videos on how to number the letters within certain keys. So if there's any confusion on that, you can just go back and watch those videos, and this will make a little more sense. So for example, C, and we're going to call that our 1 chord, since this example is going to sit under the umbrella of the key of C. 4 chord is going to be F, and then our 5 chord is going to be G. So those are the 3 chords that we will deal with for this particular progression. C is the 1 chord, F is 4, and G is 5. So just a quick review: if you were to start on C as 1 and then go up alphabetically, D is 2, E is 3, then F is 4, and then G is 5. So now the way that the chords, the order of the chords is what builds the blues progression. So the 1 chord, and what we're going to do is focus specifically on what we consider 12-bar blues. So there's going to be 12 measures or 12 bars of the form, and then what happens is that just continues and repeats and repeats. So each one of those bars or measures will have 4 beats within them. So it'll be 12 bars, each bar 4 beats. And the first 4 measures, so it's going to be 16 beats altogether. The first 4 measures will remain on the 1 chord. So for example, if I'm just playing a single note for 4 beats, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, that's the 2nd bar, 3rd bar, 2, 3, 4, and then the 4th bar, 2, 3, 4. So all I did was I played a root note, 4 beats, 4 times, and that covers 4 bars, 4 measures. Then after the 1 chord, we're heading to F, which is the 4 chord. And this chord, in our particular example, will be played for 2 measures, or 8 beats. F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4. So that's the 4 chord. And then we're going to go back to the 1 chord, which is C. C, 2, 3, 4 for 2 measures. 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, a review. We've done C for 4 measures, or 4 bars. So that's 4. F, played that for 2. Back to C for 2. So that's 8 altogether. So now we're going to go to the 5 chord. G, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. That's for 2 bars again, and then back to C. C, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to complete the form. That's going to be our just a nice basic blues chord progression. So let me go through that again, and I will go ahead and jam along with not the best drum pattern, but at least it'll keep the beat for us. So 1, 2, 3, 4. C. completes our 12-bar blues progression. And then what will happen is that form repeats and repeats and repeats. So that time, what I did to just kind of get comfortable with the form is I played root notes on each strong beat of every measure. So the first beat of every measure. Now the next step, or you can, again, hundreds of variations. So a good next step to do is to play the root and then the fifth of each of those chords. So for example, C is the root of a 1 chord, and G would be the fifth of that chord. So C, D, E, F, G is the fifth note after C within that chord. That's our 1 chord. F, F, G, A, B, C. So C would be the fifth of the 4 chord, which is F. 5 chord is G, and D would be the fifth of that chord there, of the G chord. So we have C, root and fifth, F, root and fifth, which is F and C. G is a 5 chord, G and D. What you can do is you could play each note for 2 beats. So 2 beats of C, 2 beats of G in every measure that the 1 chord occurs. 2 beats of F, 2 beats of C, every measure of the 4 chord, and then 2 beats of G, 2 beats of D, every measure of the 5 chord. 3, C, fifth, root, fifth, third bar of the 1 chord, 4th bar. Now we're going to go to the 5 chord. Back to the 1 chord. Now here we go to 5 chord, which is G, D. Back to the 1, which is C. And then that will complete the 12 measures, 12 bar blues. And so that progression can be transposed to all 12 of the keys. So now, since I know the numbers 1, 4, and 5, and I know the length of every one of the chords, I'll play a blues progression in the key of F. 2, 3, 4. No, F is 1. Staying on the 1 chord. Playing roots and fifths on the 1 chord. Now I know the 4 chord, B flat. F is the 5th, B flat. Back to the 1. 5 chord is C. G is the 5th. And I'm heading back to the 1 chord. That completes the 12 bar blues form in the key of F. So knowing the numbers will help transpose it into different keys. So if you know all your keys, and then you know how to number all the chords within the key, then it's easy to transpose blues progression, and eventually, a number of other songs, you can transpose them easy depending on the situation. If you need to play with piano player, or then a vocalist comes in and needs to change the key, or guitar player or trumpet or something like that. So it's as a musician, it's really good to know how to play various songs in various keys and how to do that. And then another thing that is good to do is we'll go back to C. And start playing this in different tempos. So this is a, pretty relaxed tempo just for beginning, and then all I'll do is I'll maybe speed it up a little bit. completes a 12-bar blues. So these are just examples, and when you're practicing, it's best to go through all the keys. You can play the root, and you can play the root and fifth, and one of the last things you can do is you can play the entire triad for each of the keys. I'm going to slow this back down a little bit, back to where we were, and then again, playing each of the major triads. So for example, in the key of C, C, E, G is a major triad. 2, 3, 4. C, E, G, C. This is a 1 chord, just outlining the 1 chord. 4 chord, root, 3rd, 5th, F, A, C. Then we're going to go back to the 1 chord, C, E, G. 5 chord, G, B, D. Just root, 3rd, 5th. Back to the 1 chord. And then that's our 12 bars there. So you have root note, root and fifth, and then the entire triad for each of the bars of the 12-bar blues, so each of those measures. So once again, go ahead and do variations of those and then if you learn them in all 12 keys, that's the ultimate goal, and then practice at various tempos. So I will have follow-up videos on variations of the blues and then how to apply them to different songs. So hopefully you have some fun with that, and hopefully it helps out. And until next time.